For today's cup of coffee, we're going to be talking about a spirit that a lot of people are familiar with that has an Irish origin, and those are banshees. And
Ooh, I
do
like
we?
banshees.
I don't know whether I like the thought of them or
I like the
not.
thought of them. The actuality that I'm sure if I heard one, I would be frozen in fear.
And I will tell you now, I'm not even going to embarrass myself by trying to pronounce Gaelic.
I
That
wouldn't
is
try.
not something that I know people who can pronounce it and just perfectly, but no, no, no.
No, 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 no.
So a banshee is, it translates to woman of the fairy mound or fairy woman. And it's a
Fairy
female
person.
spirit in Irish folklore who heralds the death of a family member, usually by wailing, shrieking, or keening.
What is keening?
Keening is this, it is this death sound, when somebody has died. It's almost like it is almost like a wailing.
Excuse me. Yeah.
And back in, it's got a very peculiar sound to it. It's a very original sound. And at one time, now this was probably, I don't know if it happened in Ireland or not, but they used to have these people that were paid mourners.
Paid mourners.
Yes, that if no one showed up to, or they were afraid no one was going to show up at someone's funeral, that they would pay people to come in and weep and wail. And I swear to you, my grandmother could have been one of those people. She really could have.
That's kind of messed up. A little bit,
Yes, yes. And I think it's, I don't know, maybe it's an American thing or more of a thing that's Appalachian, but people are very stoic for the most part, most part at funerals here. You
Yeah.
don't usually have the wailing and, a lot of drama.
Right.
It's people. You go to the funeral home, you walk through the line, you view the people. Same thing at the graveside. If you weep, you do so usually quietly.
Yeah.
It's not that people are not overcome with great grief.
I don't know if it was.
It's just an expression of it.
If it was someone I was absolutely heartbroken that died, yeah, I would probably cry, and I would ugly cry.
I actually have gone out of funerals before if I thought that I was going to make a scene,
That
mountain
must really
speak.
be an Appalachian thing, because like you don't want people don't usually want other people to they don't want to see other people cry.
Right, a lot of it, yeah, it's a private thing,
Yeah.
and it's like the full vocalizations and stuff like that. That's best done alone.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but that is part of our culture,
Mhm.
and
Yeah, I don't like other people to see me cry.
well, other places, they're more expressive, which is probably healthier
Mhm.
than the repression of these emotions. But then there are some people that they just like to make a scene.
Yeah, which is why go to a funeral? Something as tragic as that. Why go there and make it all about yourself?
Right,
Like that doesn't make sense to me.
because narcissists are, and they do what they do.
That's true. They do what they do.
Yeah,
Oh my
so
God.
sometimes the description of the banshee, sometimes she's said to have long streaming hair and wears a gray cloak over a green dress, and her eyes are red from continual weeping. Also said that she may be dressed in white. And it was interesting because in the encyclopedia of the fairies and stuff like that by Miss Rose,
Uh-huh.
it referred to white as the color of mourning. And
Really?
that right, because white is the color of mourning in some of the Asian cultures as
Yeah.
opposed to black.
Yeah, because see, you think, like, as, Americans or whatever, white is supposed to be a symbol of purity and peace and all that stuff. And black is the, dark, depressing color.
It's not a depressing color.
I know, but like traditionally.
Yeah,
Supposed
I
to
don't
be.
know where that came from.
I don't know. Like.
That's another rabbit hole to travel. But anyhow, she may be dressed in white with red hair and a ghastly complexion, according to first-hand account by Anne Lady Fanshawe in her memoirs. And Lady Wilde in Ancient Legends of Ireland provides another account, which is, quote, the size of the banshee is another physical feature that differs between regional accounts. Though some accounts of her standing unnaturally tall are recorded, the majority of tales describe her height as being very short, anywhere between 1 foot and 4 foot.
Huh.
And her exceptional shortness often goes alongside the description of her as an old woman, though it may also be intended to emphasize her state as a fairy creature. End quote. And this was interesting also. In O'Brien's Irish English Dictionary, the entry states that she fairies or women fairies, credulously supposed by the common people to be so affected to certain families that they are hears to sing mournful lamentations about their houses by night. Whenever any family labors under a sickness which is to end by death, but no families which are not of ancient and noble stock are believed to be honored with this fairy's privilege. So she be an elitist something.
Yeah.
So we don't have to be worrying about no banshees, baby.
I guess so.
Anyhow, it also says that sometimes the banshee assumes the form of some sweet-singing virgin of the family who died young and has been given the mission by the invisible powers to become the harbinger of coming doom to her mortal kindred. Or she may be seen at night as a shrouded woman crouched beneath the trees, lamenting with veiled face, or flying past in the moonlight, crying bitterly. The cry of this spirit is mournful beyond all other sounds on earth, and betokens certain death to some member of the family whenever it is heard in the silence of the night. Whoever wrote this Wikipedia was very poetic, weren't they?
Yeah, it's very good.
And it says, most, though not all, surnames associated with banshees have the O or Mick or Mac prefix, like O'Brien, MacDonald. You know, McDonald's.
Oh, McDonald's.
You've got McDonald's and McDonald's, so I don't know what the difference is. That is,
Big Macs.
These are surnames of Gaelic origin. If I pronounced that incorrectly, I'm sorry. Including a family native to the insular Celtic lands, rather than those of the Norse, English, or Norman. And accounts of banshees reach as far back as 1380.
1380.
That's been a minute.
Yeah.
And in parts of Leinster, she is referred to again as the keening woman, whose wail can be so piercing that it shatters glass.
Damn.
That's a siren there.
Yeah.
In Scottish,
someone doing those whistles.
In Scottish folklore, a similar creature is known and is seen washing the blood-stained clothes or armor of those who are about to die. So that's pretty cool.
Dang.
So that one's obviously been there for a while, since probably Roman soldier days and stuff like that.
You know what's funny about spirits and such? The stereotypical, like when we think of a lady in white, whatever, I immediately think of the Asian cultures and such, where their female ghosts are usually, the stereotypical ghosts are depicted in white and have long black hair or whatever. Like, for example, Samara from The Ring, Ringu, the original Ring, Kyoko from the Ju-on, or The Grudge.
Right.
And many, many more. But that's, even this 8-foot-tall woman, she's also depicted in a very long white dress, with long black hair.
Right. Well, it very well could be that, the banshee type spirit occurs in many different cultures, which I'm sure that it does.
Hmm.
And as far as being harbingers of death, there's different cultures that have experienced those things. Mine personally was the three knocks.
Yeah, I've heard of the three knocks as
And
well.
that is, do not answer the door. And then it's the time that the most pronounced time that occurred. That was the first time that it had happened. And I went to the door, was about to open the door. This inner voice at the heart's like, here, remember where you are. Look out the peephole. There was no one.
Mhm.
But it was in a day or two later that a family friend died.
Yeah.
And that freaked me out because it woke me up. The knocking was so loud, it woke me up out of a deep sleep.
Yeah. And like that time that I woke up from, sleep or whatever, and I heard the knocks, and I think I told you about that.
And that's always a frightening thing.
I literally yelled for you. I was like, Mama, Mom.
Yeah, I don't. That's always scary when you have things in the family that's like, oh, is this a harbinger? Am I dreaming this? Is this real?
Yeah.
So.
And they were loud too.
Yeah.
And I think they were from. I think I heard them in my dream originally, and then when I woke up, I still heard like the end part of it.
But I don't know
that
did anybody die during that time?
Not that I know of.
Not that you remembered or aware of.
No one that we knew.
So, well, that was a good thing. That was a good thing.
Yeah.
And as far as the Banshees, that was interesting because this is not the first time I have researched those.
Uh-huh.
And I think it was Time Life or somebody that used to have a series of books about the paranormal. And of course, I had those when I was like in high school.
Yeah.
And was, laying there reading one night about the Banshee, and I heard this horrible, horrible sound. And it was this wailing sound. Scared the hell out of me.
It's like, oh shit, the Banshees are real.
It was a cat in heat on the front porch.
They do wail. That's horrible.
It sounded terrible. So there are times to investigate and times to not.
Yeah.
So.
I wonder why cats wail when they're in heat. Like the female cats.
I don't know. Maybe they have endometriosis or something. It could be.
Flagellum inside them.
So anyhow, this was a little bit of a shorter one, but that's okay. It's all right. We try to mix it up a little bit. So if you've had experiences with banshees, if you have family members or anything like that, send those to us. If you've had any other encounters with paranormal or supernatural, experiences with UFOs and aliens. I'm missing the aliens right now.
Me too.
So we may be doing alien encounters again tomorrow.
Okay.
Cryptids, Bigfoot, Loch Ness monster. Yeah.
Flatwoods monster.
Mm-hmm.
That's the creepy boy. That's the creepy boy that I was talking about.
I saw something about that the other day, and I think that one was relatively close to us.
That's the one that I was like the chess piece.
There was a place I was reading about in Kentucky yesterday when we were talking about the hobgoblins, and supposedly these people had seen things. They called them hobgoblins, but somehow that was the origin of the little green men.
Really?
Yes.
Huh.
And so I don't think that's that far from us either.
Yeah.
So we may have to, God knows, it'll probably be next year before we get to take road trip, but.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, the way things are going.
God.
And if you've got local and regional legends, family legends, somebody saw something once, anything like that.
Any spooky stories?
Yeah, spooky stories. Send those to us through email at cupofcoffeewithscream@gmail.com.
Weird dreams that you've had.
Yeah, if you've had any kind of premonitions or that type thing.
Just weird dreams in general. It could be like LSD dreaming later.
We'll eventually get around to like the ESP, telepathy, all those things.
Yeah.
Because the world of the supernatural, paranormal, and all that stuff is vast.
Yeah. It is vast.
So, And
That's a lot.
everybody's had their something. It's just that most people don't pay attention and they gaslight themselves. And it's like, oh, well, I really didn't see that. That wasn't what that was. And so
Exactly.
they lie to themselves.
Yeah.
So, you all, it's like speak your truth.
Speak your truth.
Have a beautiful, blessed day.
Oh, spooky book.